Hello and welcome everyone. Is my voice clear and audible?
हाँ जी, क्लियर एंड ऑडिबल।
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll begin with a short meditation. Sit back comfortably. Withdraw your attention from the outside world and bring it to yourself. Now think about someone you care for who might be struggling or feeling pain. Imagine their challenges and difficulties and offer them kindness and compassion. Repeat, may you be free from suffering. May you be at peace. As you continue to breathe, expand this compassion to include all beings. Imagine the world filled with kindness, understanding, and empathy. May everyone be free from pain and suffering. May everyone be at peace. Finally, bring this compassion back to yourself. Acknowledge your own struggles and imperfections and offer yourself kindness and understanding. May you be gentle with yourself. May you be kind. In this moment, feel a sense of connection to all beings, and your heart feels open and loving. Compassion guides you, and you're filled with empathy and understanding. Okay, thank you so much. So we'll begin with today's session. I'll just share the screen with you. All right. So today we're going to start from I have been practicing meditation, and this is PDF page 183. Okay. So here the seeker is saying, I have been practicing meditation. I have been to workshops. I have read many books on spirituality. I try to be in a state of non resistance. But if you ask me whether I have found true and lasting inner peace, my honest answer would have to be no. Why haven't I found it? What else can I do? तो अभी author कह रहे हैं, you are still seeking outside and you cannot get out of the seeking mode. Maybe the next workshop will have the answer. Maybe that new technique. To you, I would say don't look for peace. Don't look for any other state than the one you are in now. Otherwise, you will set up inner conflict and unconscious resistance. Forgive yourself for not being at peace. The moment you completely accept your non-peace becomes transmuted into peace. तो यहाँ पे जो सीकर कहते हैं कि मैंने बहुत सारी वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड की हैं, बहुत बुक्स पढ़ी हैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी पे, बट फिर भी मुझे ना वो इनर लास्टिंग पीस नहीं फील होता। तो ऑथर उनको समझा रहे हैं कि यू आर स्टिल सीकिंग आउटसाइड, आप अभी भी इस चीज को बाहर ढूंढ रहे हो बुक्स में, अलग अलग वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड करके अभी भी आप वो सीकिंग मोड में हो। तो आपको लगता है कोई कोई पर्टिकुलर वर्कशॉप अटेंड करोगे तो उससे आपको वो इनर पीस की फुलफिलमेंट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी, आप फील करोगे। बट यू हैव टू स्टॉप सीकिंग एंड यू हैव टू लुक फॉर इट इन द नाउ। तो वही ऑथर कह रहे हैं कि बाहर ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं है, इट्स जस्ट यू लुक फॉर इट इन द नाउ एंड स्टॉप ट्राइंग टू सीक इट। The moment you completely accept your non-peace becomes transmuted into peace. Anything you accept fully will get you there, will take you into peace. This is the miracle of surrender. तो सरेंडर क्या है, ऑथर समझा रहे हैं कि जब आप कोई भी चीज फुली एक्सेप्ट करते हो, मतलब इवन इफ यू आर फीलिंग नॉन पीस, अगर बहुत आपके माइंड में बहुत कुछ चल रहा है, बहुत क्वेश्चंस हैं, आप रिजॉल्व नहीं कर पा रहे, एज सून एज यू स्टार्ट एक्सेप्टिंग ऑल ऑफ दैट, एज सून एज वो रेजिस्टेंस खत्म हो जाती है, फुल एक्सेप्टेंस आ जाती है, दैट इज व्हाट सरेंडर इज एंड दैट इज व्हेन यू फाइंड दैट इनर पीस। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है यहाँ पे एक्सेप्टेंस। You may have heard the phrase turn the other cheek, which is a great teacher of enlightenment used 2000 years ago. He was attempting to convey symbolically the secret of non resistance and non reaction. In this statement, as in all his others, he was concerned only with your inner reality, not with the outer conduct of your life. Do you know the story of Banzan? Before he became a great Zen master, he spent many years in the pursuit of enlightenment, but it eluded him. Then one day, as he was walking in the marketplace, he overheard a conversation between a butcher and his customer. Give me the best piece of meat you have, said the customer, and the butcher replied, every piece of meat I have is the best. There is no piece of meat here that is not the best. Upon hearing this, Banzan became enlightened. I can see you are waiting for some explanation. When you accept what is, every piece of meat, every moment is the best. That is enlightenment. So, what is enlightenment? If you simply have to define it, it is full acceptance and no resistance. एवरी मोमेंट, जो भी लाइफ सिचुएशंस चल रही है, जो भी आपके साथ हो रहा है, जब आप फुली एक्सेप्ट करते हैं उसको, फुली प्रेजेंट में रहते हैं, दैट इज व्हेन यू आर एनलाइटेंड। द नेचर ऑफ कंपैशन। Having gone beyond the mind-made opposites, you become like a deep lake, the outer situation of your life, and whatever happens there is the surface of the lake, sometimes calm, sometimes windy and rough, according to the cycles and seasons. Deep down, however, the lake is always undisturbed. You are the whole lake, not just the surface, and you are in touch with your own depth, which remains absolutely still. You don't resist change by mentally clinging to any situation. Your inner peace does not depend on it. You abide in being, unchanging, timeless, deathless, and you are no longer dependent for fulfillment or happiness on the outer world for constantly fluctuating forms. You can enjoy them, play with them, create new forms, appreciate the beauty of it all, but there will be no need to attach yourself to any of it. तो यहाँ पे ऑथर ने बहुत ब्यूटिफुली डिस्क्राइब किया है कि वी हैव टू सी आवरसेल्व्स एज अ डीप लेक, जो भी सरफेस पे हो रहा है, वेव्स चल रहे हैं, रफ सरफेस है, जो भी हो रहा है, इट इज ऑन द सरफेस, डीप डाउन द लेक इज अनडिस्टर्ब। तो हमें भी अपने लाइफ को वैसे ही देखना है। वी हैव टू सी आवरसेल्व्स एज द लेक, जो है व्हाटएवर हमारे लाइफ सिचुएशन में चल रहा है, चाहे वो रफ पीरियड है, ups and downs है, but deep down our inner self, our inner being is undisturbed, unaffected by whatever is happening outside. Okay. When you become this detached, does it mean that you also become remote from other human beings? अब ये भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, बिकॉज बहुत बार ये लगता है कि जो भी आसपास हो रहा है उससे हमें अनअफेक्टेड रहना है, तो उससे ना क्या होता है, कई बारी ये हो जाता है कि हम फिर दूसरों के कांटेक्ट में कम आते हैं, हमें लगता है नहीं, हमें बस अपने में रहना है, वी डोंट हैव टू बी इन कांटेक्ट विद अदर्स, या सबसे डिटैचमेंट मतलब सबसे बातचीत बंद, अपने आप के साथ रहना। तो इट इज नॉट दैट, दैट इज अ बिग मिसइंटरप्रिटेशन। इट इज, you have to be detached and loving both together. So let's see what the author has to say about this. So the author says, on the contrary, matlab, it is the opposite of this. As long as you are unaware of being, the reality of other humans will elude you because you have not found your own. Your mind will like or dislike their form, which is not just their body, but includes their mind as well. True relationship becomes possible only when there is an awareness of being. Coming from being, you will perceive another person's body and mind just as a screen, as it were, behind which you can feel their true reality as you feel yours. जब हमें awareness हो जाती है of our inner being, we look at everybody else as well, we start looking at them as well as a being, जो उनका जो outside का जो screen है, जैसे author कह रहे हैं, the body, the mind, the form, they are all beyond that. It is the inner being that we start connecting to, that we start understanding. So that makes us all the more loving, all the more compassionate. So when confronted with someone else's suffering or unconscious behavior, you stay present and in touch with being, and are thus able to look beyond the form and feel the other person's radiant and pure being through your own. At the level of being, all suffering is recognized as an illusion. Suffering is due to identification with form. Miracles of healing sometimes occur through this realization by awakening being consciousness in others, if they are ready. तो जो ऑथर कह रहे हैं, when we start connecting to the pure being, तभी, and we start giving them the vibrations of love and healing, that is when miracles happen. When जब वो भी हमारे साथ on the being level connect करते हैं, so that is if they are ready, if they are getting awakened, so that is when their healing as well starts happening through us. Is that what compassion is? Yes. Compassion is the awareness of a deep bond between yourself and all creatures. But there are two sides to compassion, two sides to this bond. On the one hand, since you are still here as a physical body, you share the vulnerability and mortality of your physical form with every other human and with every living being. Next time you say, I have nothing in common with this person, remember that you have a great deal in common. A few years from now, 2 years or 70 years, it doesn't make much difference. Both of you will have become rotting corpses, then piles of dust, then nothing at all. This is a sobering and humbling realization that leaves little room for pride. Is this a negative thought? No, it is a fact. Why close your eyes to it? In that sense, there is total equality between you and every creature. मतलब वही author कह रहे हैं कि there is uh, at the level of mortality, we all humans are the same, और जब हम जैसे author ने कहा ये कहते हैं ना there is nothing common between us, well there is, because when we leave this body in however many years, in the next say 50 to 70 years. So the what will happen is, the we are both corpses, we all of us are the same. We're just piles of dust and nothing at all. तो उससे क्या होता है, जब ये अवेयरनेस, जब ये रियलाइजेशन और अंडरस्टैंडिंग हमारे अंदर डीपली रूटेड है, जब में हमें अपनी रियलिटी पता है क्या है, then we'll all look at everybody else in the same way, because we are all at the end of the day just on a journey, and the journey can end anytime. That is not, it's not कोई permanent नहीं है, it's just temporary, all of this. One of the most powerful spiritual practices is to meditate deeply on the mortality of physical forms, including your own. This is called die before you die. Go into it deeply. Your physical form is dissolving, is no more. Then a moment comes when all mind forms or thoughts also die. Yet you are still there, the divine presence that you are, radiant, fully awake. Nothing that was real ever died, only names, forms, and illusions. तो ये बहुत एक इम्पोर्टेंट spiritual practice, powerful spiritual practice जो author कह रहे हैं, is to die before you die. Just when you sit to meditate, just imagine yourself leaving this body, this physical form, names, identity, सब कुछ जब आप अपने आप से सारे layers जब हटाते हैं, then you realize what is left is your true self, your true inner being, that is formless, that is beyond life and death, beyond all these illusions. तो उससे क्या होता है, मतलब you realize the reality, वो awakening होती है, वो awareness होती है उस reality की जो आप सच में हैं. तो that is what is called dying before dying, practicing this. The realization of this deathless dimension, your true nature, is the other side of compassion. On a deep feeling, on a deep feeling level, you now recognize not only your own immortality, but through your own, that of every other creature as well. On the level of form, you share mortality and the precariousness of existence. On the level of being, you share eternal radiant life. These are the two aspects of compassion. In compassion, the seemingly opposite feelings of sadness and joy merge into one and become transmuted into a deep inner peace. This is the peace of God. It is one of the most noble feelings that humans are capable of, and it has great healing and transformative power. But true compassion, as I have just described it, is as yet rare. To have deep empathy for the suffering of another being certainly requires a high degree of consciousness, but represents only one side of compassion. It is not complete. True compassion goes beyond empathy or sympathy. It does not happen until sadness merges with joy, the joy of being beyond form, the joy of eternal life. Toward a different order of reality. I don't agree that the body needs to die. I am convinced that we can achieve physical mortality. We believe in death, and that's why the body dies. The body does not die because you believe in death. The body exists or seems to because you believe in death. Body and death are part of the same illusion created by the egoic mode of consciousness, which has no awareness of the source of life and sees itself as separate and constantly under threat. So it creates the illusion that you are a body, a dense physical vehicle that is constantly under threat. तो यहाँ पे ऑथर कह रहे हैं कि जो we what we perceive as death, the body and that are the same illusion because the body be, if you think about it, it's all illusionary, it's all temporary. It is just created by our own mind. जो ये बॉडी के साथ रिलेशन, जो बॉडी जो हमारी है, जिसके बारे में वी हैव दिस फियर ऑफ डेथ, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द बॉडी डाइज ना, द सोल इज इमॉर्टल. तो ये सारा जो एक ही फियर हम क्रिएट करते हैं अबाउट डेथ, अबाउट डाइंग, इट्स बिकॉज वी आर नॉट कनेक्टेड टू आवर ओन इनर बीइंग. जब हमें वो रियलाइजेशन हो जाएगी कि वी आर बियॉन्ड दिस नेम फॉर्म बॉडी, then we won't have any fear. We won't have this threat of dying, of losing this body. To perceive yourself as a vulnerable body that was born and a little later dies, that's the illusion. Body and death, one illusion. You cannot have one without the other. You want to keep one aside of the illusion and get rid of the other, but that is impossible. Either you keep all of it or you relinquish all of it. मतलब ऑथर कह रही है दोनों एक ही illusion के part है. मतलब if you're constantly identified with this body, then death will also keep haunting us. वो भी हमारे it will be part of us कि we're gonna die, this, because we are totally identified with this body. So it can't be कि and if we don't identify ourselves with this body, if we have realized, we've come into this awareness of our inner being, फिर उसके बाद there'll be no fear of death because we have got the experience, knowledge, awareness of who we truly are. तो अगर जितना ज्यादा हम बॉडी से अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, उतना ही फियर ऑफ डेथ भी होएगा. तो दोनों चीजें इंटरकनेक्टेड है, दोनों ही चीजें एक इल्यूजन है. However, you cannot escape from the body, nor do you have to. The body is an incredible misperception of your true nature. But your true nature is concealed somewhere within that illusion, not outside it. So the body is still the only point of access to it. So, the way author कह रहे हैं, the body is an incredible misperception of your true nature. तो जो हम, mind identified होते हैं, इस body से identified होते हैं, that is a complete misperception. वो हमारी nature है ही नहीं, जो हम mind identify होके जो भी हम egoic mind के influence में आ जाते हैं और जो भी हम करते हैं, that is not who we are. But we need our body to access our true nature, which is our soul, and the soul needs the body to, uh, to function. If you saw an angel but mistook it for a stone statue, all you would have to do is adjust your vision and look more closely at the stone statue, not start looking somewhere else. You would then find that there never was a stone statue. If belief in death creates the body, why does an animal have a body? An animal doesn't have an ego and it doesn't believe in death, but it still dies or seems to. Remember that your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. Your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. जो हमारा consciousness होएगा, if we are, mind identified, if we are body conscious, then that is how we look at the world. Uh, we see everybody as being, a mind conscious, egoic mind. हम वैसे ही relate करते हैं. But when we are soul conscious, that is how we see the world. We look at each and every person as a soul. We'll have the awareness, the understanding, the knowledge of who we truly are and who everyone else is as well. You are not separate from it, and there is no objective world out there. Every moment, your consciousness creates the world that you inhabit. One of the greatest insights that has come out of modern physics is that of the unity between the observer and the observed. The person conducting the experiment, the observing consciousness cannot be separated from the observed phenomena, and a different way of looking causes the observed phenomena to behave differently. तो ये साइंस ने भी प्रूव किया है, जैसे ऑथर कह रहे हैं कि in modern physics, what is it? The unity between the observer and the observed. तो हम जो देख रहे हैं, the observer and what we are looking at, there is it's not separate. तब जिस हिसाब से हम ये वर्ल्ड देखते हैं, परसीव करती है, वो हमें वैसे ही दिखती है. If you believe on a deep level in separation and the struggle of survival, then you see that belief reflected all around you, and your perceptions are governed by fear. You inhabit a world of death and of bodies fighting, killing, and devouring each other. तो what you believe, जो आप जैसे आप सोचते हैं वैसे ही आपकी दुनिया है. That is the way the world is. It's the way you think, the way you believe. Nothing is what it seems to be. The world that you create and see through the egoic mind may seem a very imperfect place, even a vale of tears. But whatever you perceive is only a kind of symbol, like an image in a dream. It is how your consciousness interprets and interacts with the molecular energy dance of the universe. This energy is the raw material of so called physical reality. You see it in terms of bodies and birth and death, or as a struggle for survival. An infinite number of completely different interpretations, completely different worlds is possible, and in fact exists, all depending on the perceiving consciousness. Every being is the focal point of consciousness, and every such focal point creates its own world, although all those worlds are interconnected. There is a human world, an ant world, a dolphin world, and so on. There are countless beings whose consciousness frequency is so different from yours that you are probably unaware of their existence as they are of yours. Highly conscious beings who are aware of their connectedness with the source and with each other would inhabit a world that to you would appear as a heavenly realm, and yet all worlds are ultimately one. Wow, तो यहाँ पे ऑथर ने इतना ब्यूटिफुली एक्सप्लेन किया है कि व्हाट योर कॉन्शियसनेस इज, आप जिस स्टेट ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में हो, आपको वही उसी वही वर्ल्ड, दैट इज व्हाट द वर्ल्ड इज अराउंड यू. So, if you're highly conscious, so you will everything around you will be highly conscious. And that will be heaven, that will be like a heavenly dream, जहाँ पे कुछ भी negativity नहीं है, कोई fear नहीं है, कोई mind identified नहीं है. Everyone is looking at each other as souls, with that same awareness. But if you are mind identified, and if you have the fear, वो सब कुछ जो आपके अंदर है, fear, anger, frustration, uncertainty, तो आपके world around you is also going to be a reflection of what is going on inside you. Our collective human world is largely created through the level of consciousness we call mind. Even within the collective human world, there are vast differences, many different subworlds, depending on the perceivers or creators of their respective worlds. Since all worlds are interconnected, when collective human consciousness becomes transformed, nature and the animal kingdom will reflect that transformation. Hence the statement in the Bible that in the coming age, the lion shall lie down with the lamb. This points to the possibility of a completely different order of reality. तो वही ऑथर कह रहे हैं कि ऑल द वर्ड्स आर इंटरकनेक्टेड, और जब कलेक्टिवली ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस ट्रांसफॉर्म होगी, मतलब अगर कलेक्टिवली सब माइंड कॉन्शियसनेस के बजाय माइंड आइडेंटिफाइड, इगोइक माइंड आइडेंटिफाइड ना होके, सब में ये अवेयरनेस सोल कॉन्शियसनेस की बढ़ती जाएगी, we'll be building a different new world, in which author an example there, the lion shall lie down with the lamb, जहाँ पे everything will be equal. There will be so much love between humans, between even animals, that there will be no fear amongst anyone. It will just be love, pure relationships. And it will just be a new world. But that will happen when the collective human psyche changes, जब mind consciousness के बजाय सब soul consciousness में बढ़ते जाएंगे. The world as it appears to us now is, as I said, largely a reflection of the egoic mind. Fear being an unavoidable consequence of egoic delusion, it is a world dominated by fear. Just as the images in a world are symbols, just as the images in a dream are symbols of inner states and feelings, so our collective reality is largely a symbolic expression of fear and of the heavy layers of negativity that have accumulated in the collective human psyche. We are not separate from our world. So when the majority of humans become free of egoic delusion, This inner change will affect all of creation. Underline. We are not separate from our world. So जब majority of humans will become free of this egoic delusion, free of this mind identification, this inner change will affect all of creation. मतलब हमारे ही inner transformation से the world will transform. You will literally inhabit a new world. इससे पता चलता है, how important it is for us, to stay, to understand this, to be aware, that we are not this mind identified body, we are souls. And that is when we transform ourselves, जब हम अपने आप में वो change लाएंगे, that is when we can build a new world around us. You will literally inhabit a new world. It is a shift in planetary consciousness. The strange Buddhist saying that every tree and every blade of grass will eventually become enlightened points to the same truth. According to Saint Paul, the whole of creation is waiting for humans to become enlightened. This is how I interpret his saying that the created universe is waiting with eager expectation for God's sons to be revealed. St. Paul goes on to say that all of creation will become redeemed through us. Up to the present, the whole created universe in all its parts groans as if in the pangs of childbirth. What is being born is a new consciousness, and as its inevitable reflection, a new world. This is also foretold in the New Testament book of Revelation. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Wow. But don't confuse cause and effect. Your primary task is not to seek salvation through creating a better world, but to awaken out of identification with form. You are no longer bound to this world, this level of reality. You can feel your roots in the unmanifested and so are free of attachment to the manifested world. You can still enjoy the passing pleasures of this world, but there is no fear of loss anymore. So you don't need to cling to them. Although you can enjoy sensory pleasures, the craving for sensory experience is gone, as is the constant search for fulfillment through psychological gratification, through feeding the ego. You are in touch with something infinitely greater than any pleasure, greater than any manifested thing. Okay, so I think we'll end it here today, and we'll continue from here tomorrow. Okay, I'll just share the questions with you today. Okay, so the first question is, when somebody says something rude or unpleasant to you, how can you let it pass through you without triggering an unconscious reaction? What has the author suggested in this context? The second question is, what are the two aspects of compassion as explained in this book? Which spiritual practices have been recommended to nurture each of these aspects? And the third question is, the author says your perception of the world is your state of consciousness. What does it mean? How can we shift our perspective to have a positive outlook? Thank you so much for joining. You can answer in the comment section or in the WhatsApp group. We'll see you all tomorrow again. Thank you so much.